brilliant to see such electrifying crowd here. We engineers have been electrifying the world and now we are electrifying this space. So congratulations to all of us. Now before we begin, I have some quick stats to share with you. According to multiple estimates, India trains around 1.5 million engineers, which is more than the US and China combined, says Economic Times. Are we proud of it? Yes, we are. With 950,000 out of Asia's total 2.96 million, India's 2013 figure represented an 85% increase from 2003, says Times of India. Are we proud again? Yes, we are. In India, the software service industry alone recruits about 300,000 people everywhere, says Times of India. Very proud again. I mean, come on. In 2015, over 150,000 engineering students who completed their graduation from 650 colleges are unemployable, says India Today. What? What just happened? 80% of the engineering graduates are unemployable, says the Economic Times again. In India, 80% of 16 to 17-year-olds are interested in engineering, which is the highest in the world. We are definitely obsessed with this thing, engineering, says Times of India. Also, the gender gap is the lowest in India with 85% male and an astounding 79% female being interested in engineering. This is just a fun fact. I mean, gender ratio being good in engineering colleges. Come on, we all know the reality of our campuses here. So this is just a fun fact, it's just there. Now, as contradicting as these numbers seems to be, they are just as alarming. They are definitely really alarming. You have seen the numbers how they are. But our problem is we are so obsessed with numbers. We adore numbers, we love numbers, we worship numbers. We let the numbers define if we are employable or not. We let the numbers define if XYZ company can absorb us or not. We let the number define if we are worth it or not. But before these numbers are being imposed to engineers, who exactly is an engineer? How do you define an engineer? How do you define every single one of you sitting in this room? Who is an engineer? So a US legal definition says that an engineer is a person who, by reason of his or her special knowledge of the mathematical and physical sciences and the principles and methods of engineering analysis and design acquired by engineering education and engineering experience, is qualified to practice engineering. This is there because I can't memorize it, of course. So I'll give you a simpler one. And Hindustan Times quoted a commonly accepted definition. Some mercy on us finally. Engineering is the application of mathematics and science to create something of value from natural resources. Let's keep pondering into it. Let's see how much we agree or we don't agree with what we see or read. Or perhaps an even simpler definition. He is an architect, developer, producer, inventor. Are we agreeing with this partially? Maybe, maybe not. But the problem with this definition is they all stereotype engineers. They all stereotype the way engineers are supposed to be. They limit the engineers in their own ways. Coming from a bit of NGO background, we fight stereotyping, stigma, discrimination every day, and stereotyping can do a lot of damage. So yes, the problem with these definitions is that they stereotype the engineers. They really limit them in a particular frame and they want them to be the way it should be, probably. So I'll give you another definition which I love the most. Engineers are creative problem solvers. Simple. Engineers are creative problem solvers. Are we creative? Hell yes, we are creative. You know, when we show off our creativity, when we have to prove LHS equal to RHS, and we have no clue how to do it. No clue. But it is a 10 marks question and we are gonna do it anyhow. So we define our own logic, we define our own path, and there we are, LHS equal to RHS after 2-3 pages of rigorous algorithms and a lot of stuff. Engineering has been called designing under constraint. So let me focus on the word design because we are in TEDx and TEDx has design. Design is a very broad term. It's an extremely broad term. We just don't design the tangible things like buildings, machines, electronic devices, blah, blah, blah. We also design intangible things like strategies, like ideas, lot of stuff, lot of tangible, intangible stuff we design under constraints. So when you do LHS equal to RHS, you are designing a path under the constraint of not knowing how to do it really, right? So we are the creative problem solvers. This is so simple and this is so appropriate for any modern engineer, not the traditional one being defined by the previous definitions that we had. But the counter argument with this is that you just can't redefine things if it is not working. You know, you just can't go and see, okay, this is not according to my convenience. I am not really getting a lot of goodwill, so let me redefine things. But the problem is, where is the fault? The fault is not just with the engineers, but also with institutes at a lot of level. Institutes are killing more engineers than producing them. There, I said it. It's the sad truth. Let's all accept it. But again, the traditional one. When I talk about the modern engineer, creative problem solvers, institutes at the same time are developing an ecosystem which are burying the traditional engineers and paving the way for the modern engineers to walk the earth. Moreover, when I talk about blame in any crisis situation, I have always emphasized that the blame has to be shared mutually. Whatever the situation is, it's not black and white, it's always gray. You also have to understand that when a student enters into an engineering campus, it's a new age, there is so much of parental pressure, peer pressure, relationship, friends, career, staying away from home, mess food, so much to deal with, So in between the path they can get deviated, fine. In between the path they might find interest in something else and they lean towards it and they probably dismantle the concept of being a traditional engineer and deliberately or non-deliberately sit on a path to become a modern engineer. Now, since we are talking about modern engineer and we are trying to get away with the stereotypes, modern engineer doesn't mean that you have an engineering degree. If you feel you are a creative problem solver, that doesn't matter you have the degree or not in the convocation, you are an engineer. You might be from the arts background, but if you are solving problems creatively, you are definitely a modern engineer. Now, where do these modern engineers lead to? Where do they go? Like, we all pass out, some of us go to the core companies, some of us go to the corporates. But this whole hypothetical situation of being a modern engineer, where does it go? It goes everywhere. Every single domain and space has been touched by modern engineers. I'm emphasizing modern engineers again and again because I really don't want to be stuck with the definition that I gave before, and I really want to go ahead with the definition I gave now of being a creative problem solver. We do startups, we do SMEs, we do arts, we can even become hipsters. We can, I know people who are hipsters and who are proud engineers. Living a life of a hipster is itself engineering. It's a design under constraint. It is. At the same time, we cannot stereotype. We cannot also stereotype startups. We can also not stereotype SMEs. We can also not stereotype arts. We can also not stereotype hipsters. We can't say that they are not intelligent. They are probably more intelligent than you. And dating someone who is doing PhD in Oxford in quantum mechanics, you never know. The world is full of surprises. And how does it happen really? Like, okay, fine, we all are modern engineers and we are doing great things in the world. But how do we do it? We do it just like we crack our exams. The first step is to believe, okay, end semester is coming. My goal is not to have a back. Or my goal is to have an 8-pointer or a 9-pointer or a 10-pointer and eventually get a job in PSU. I don't know, whatever. There can be different goals. The first thing you do is believe that you can do it. Ki ab ki baar to back nahi lagegi. This time I am not going to get a back. This time I am going to crack this exam which I haven't been able to crack for like 2-3 semesters. I don't know. So the first step is to believe. And likewise, when you get out of the college, when you get out of the campus, life gives you an exam daily. And you have to believe daily in yourself as a modern engineer that you are going to crack this exam. The next thing is to analyze. Course kya hai? What is the course? Fine, I'm going to crack this. Fine, I'm going to, save my back or get an 8-pointer. But what is the course? How much I have to study? So I analyze. How much time do we have? How much notes do I have? How much notes can I get from the LAN? How much notes can I get from the topper guy? Can I go to the another hostel and get better notes? Everything has to be analyzed. And the third problem is, or the third step is implementation, which is the most difficult of all. How to implement? The topper denies, no, I'm not going to give you my notes. Okay, or the LAN is gone. Anything can happen, like world is full of problems. So implementation is the toughest part. The only point is that you do not give up, that you don't criticize your own self. That is very important. You don't criticize your own self because you have always believed in yourself at the step 1. You don't criticize, you don't give up. You keep implementing till the time it's the reality. And the fourth step is amplify, build on it, work on it. Fine, I cracked this exam, I cleared my back. Next target 6-pointer, next target 8-pointer, next target 10-pointer. How many of you know people who scored really low in first semester and they were toppers towards the end of the year? Many, there are many of them. Because they believe, they analyze, they implement, and then they amplify. Practical things to keep in mind while being a modern engineer. Remain real, please. Please remain real. It's very important to be on the ground. It's very important to relate to the reality. And the 4 steps that we discussed further should remain or should be designed under the constraint of reality. That's how you are practicing engineering. Have patience. Have a lot of patience. Nothing happens in seconds. Nothing happens in days. It takes years and years to build something, to do something substantial. Listen, not here. I think this has been emphasized before. But again, I'll put it again here. Please listen. Not here. Start listening. Start trying to understand what other people are saying. Bottom line. What is the bottom line of this? That you are a modern engineer and you are not going to be limited by the stereotyping definitions of the world that is being imposed on you. Next time, when someone mocks you that, oh, you are a computer science engineer and you can't fix a computer, or you are an electrical engineer and you can't fix the fan, or you are a mechanical engineer and you can't repair an automobile, you are going to tell them that you are not the traditional engineer, you are a modern engineer who has entered the new era where you solve problems creatively and you will not be compromised, you will not be limited by the stupid lens of the world that is again and again trying to put you in this stupid mold and trying to see you the way they want to. You are independent. You can do whatever you want to do. Engineering has been redefined. So you are a modern engineer and you are the instrument of change. Thank you.